Unmute. Hello, 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 hello in chat. Hello, hello. All right, all right. Put on our beautiful faces. What's up? What's up? All right, you ready?
Let's go.
Welcome to episode 337 of the Center Ring Esports podcast presented by Alt. And yes, you guessed it, this is going to be the best episode ever because we have Kevin filling in for Anuj. So, we'll talk some League of Legends with him. Also, the CDL Dallas homestand wrapped up this weekend. First LAN in over a year for Call of Duty. So we'll discuss that as well as Blast Spring in Counter-Strike. And of course, Yikes of the Week. Before we get to any of that, though, let me tell you about the show sponsor in Alt Esports. AltEsports.com. You know them, you love them. They are the best esports apparel brand out there. Partnered with the Overwatch League, Call of Duty League, teams like E United, World Champion Sentinels. Might have heard of them. Little Valorant team. Pretty good. So I hear. And of course, the number one esports podcast, The Center Ring. You can pick yourself up a hoodie from your very own TCR. Get yourself a 101 Burglars hoodie. Wow. What a deal you can do. Go to altesports.com and you tell them The Center Ring sent you.
Hey guys, it's Custom and you're listening to The Center Ring. You're listening to The Center Ring.
So let's start.
Hello, everybody. Hello and welcome. Welcome back to another edition of the Center Ring Esports podcast presented by Alt, episode 337, coming to you live and or pre-recorded from an undisclosed location. The date, June 21st, 2021. The time is 10:05 p.m. Late as balls or early for the next episode. Either way you'd like to spin it, that's what we do. Go ahead and follow us on Twitter at The Center Ring. Join our Discord as well. Be a part of the conversation. Our website, tcr.gg. It's got some really old blogs on there, but if you ever wanted to see all of our episodes or anything in a convenient, professional-looking landscape, there is the website. Eventually, maybe I'll do a blog. Maybe. We'll see. I've always said I want to do one more blog before we colonize space, so I think I have some time. We'll get around to it eventually. But that's not important because right now, my name is Tim, and I'll be your captain for this journey into esports. And alongside me, though, not as always, but occasionally, he is one of my best friends, and he's also still a Brown friend. It's Kevin. What's going on?
Oh, Captain, my captain, what's popping?
Thank you for filling in as Anuj is busy this week. It's a busy time for both of us in June, but for him especially this week. So I appreciate you hopping on the show.
No, and anytime at all. I appreciate the call up from the bullpen,
Well, it's been busy, so yesterday was not only... Oh, happy Father's Day.
Oh, yeah, happy Father's Day, Tim.
First Father's Day for you, no?
Yes, sir, and your second? Fourth?
Second. It's my second Father's Day. Also my birthday yesterday. Not a big deal.
Oh, happy birthday and happy Father's Day.
It is my 31st one of those. Turned at the big 3-1.
Oh, wow.
So there's that. No, good birthday, good Father's Day, but that is also why Anuj is not here, because his birthday was the 12th of June. Yesterday was Father's Day. I think tomorrow is his wife's birthday, and then the day after or something like that is their anniversary. So in a week span, they have and their kid's birthday is somewhere.
Gracious.
So it's like they have 3 birthdays, Father's Day, and a wedding anniversary, all in a span of 2 weeks. So there's always this time in June every year where he's just MIA, and he's like, yeah, I can't do a show because I can't get out of it. So that's where we're at. So just for the listeners' note, that's why we're a day late. Yesterday was Father's Day and my birthday. And as much as I would have loved to have done the show, my wife doesn't understand why I can't cut out family time. So there's that. That's a losing battle. And we will do, and the next show will not be Wednesday. It will be Thursday, and Anuj, from what he tells me, will be back. If not, Kevin, keep your phone nearby.
We'll see. I also have, I have an anniversary, birthday, and a funeral to go to on that same day on Thursday. I mean, who knows? No, I'm kidding. I don't have funerals or anniversaries on that Thursday.
Do you think joking about death is normally appropriate?
I'd say probably not. But you know what? There's always room for dark humor.
Millions have died today, Kevin. Millions.
I mean,
have died.
Millions died yesterday. Millions died tomorrow. Tim, come on now.
I am one to care. I am definitely one to care. Anyways, Kevin. So
Yes.
as a staple on this show, every time you're on, we do talk League of Legends. And so I will do a brand new segment with you after Yikes of the Week, which is called Kevin Translates TCR's Discord League of Legends chat. So we have listeners that always like to talk League of Legends. I always like to pretend to chime in just to, be a good host, be active, let them know, hey, I do read this stuff. But secretly, I don't know anything that they're talking about. So I want to read some of it, and then you translate and tell me what is going on in the world of League of Legends. But before we get to that, let's get into Yikes of the Week. Did you bring some Yikes to the table?
I did bring a Yikes or two to the table. Should I start? You start?
I will let you start. Guests first.
All right. Well, I have a pretty saucy first Yikes of the week, and it is the fact that Riot Games has quote unquote leaked another one of their champions, and it is it's a weird thing to leak because as Redditors will tell you, it is like the 7th or 8th shirtless male champion they've released straight.
Wait, this is on top of the robot?
Which robot are you talking about?
Oh, you said League of Legends. My bad.
Yeah, League of Legends. Yeah.
My bad.
So,
my bad. I'm getting my Riot games mixed up.
No worries. It's a lot of Riot games now to keep up with. You got Wild
Well, it's
Rift,
a lot
you
of
got
Riot
the
leaks to
Card
keep up with.
Exactly. So it's just kind of rough what games we're leaking for. This is League of Legends. The hero I'm talking about his name is Akshan or Action, whichever you prefer. But he's apparently a shirtless AP mage burst guy, whatever. He's the latest and greatest out of Riot, design studios, whatever. Shirtless again. This makes it, by my count, the 6th straight male shirtless hero or champion for Riot Games. And I gotta wonder a little bit, like, Riot, you're trying to sexualize the male body here? What's going on, bud?
Do you feel left out? Do you feel like there should be some clothed men so we can cosplay?
I mean, obviously clothed, but at least, I don't need to see another six-packed, shirtless male, champion running around here. We got Gragas, who's a, little bit of a drunk, kind of bigger guy, which is okay. But that was like years ago that he was released.
I feel like this is the opposite of what Blizzard does. So I have a well-known theory that Blizzard is secretly running a underground porn hentai ring, which is why every single new character in Overwatch is a female.
That would make sense. I mean, you could make the same argument for Riot Games too, but I feel like any game developer in the business of releasing champions / heroes / agents, they'd make that deal anytime of the day. They'd be like, you know what, sexy new thing popping up on their screens, or a classic generic male.
Yeah,
you know what?
I
this is gonna make us more money.
I think that's why, because people always bring up, like, why would you keep doing Overwatch? It's a dead game. Well, it's because it's secretly filling in their underground porn business.
That's why.
Which, no shame in that either.
No.
There's a lot of money in there. So I'm told. I will do some research on it afterwards for the show. I will do some research.
All right, but let me list off very quickly the male champions released just in the past year alone. That these are just strictly only the male champions, right? Viego, the Ruined King, shirtless, 6-packed ab. Then we have, of course, Yone, the Unforgotten, shirtless. He has a 6-8-pack ab there going on. Set, who is wearing like a vest, but that man is shirtless, very obviously. Also, he's rocking at least a 6 to 4 pack there, so not as egregious as the first two. Aphelios, 6 pack. I see it right there, Aphelios. I see it in your portrait right there. You're trying to hide it with your knees, but I see it. And then on top of that, we have Silas, the Unshackled. The man is obviously wearing no shirt. And then Pike, I guess you could make the argument he's wearing some kind of weird thing there, but I guess that's Kane would be the next one who's shirtless as well. So I'll say that's, how many is that, 6 so far?
Well, that was 6, unless
So
you're counting Pike, which is
I'm not
7.
counting Pike. So
Okay.
6 out of 8 champions that are males released in the past year, no shirts.
Maybe they just don't know how to draw shirts.
That seems like a really weird thing for game
Maybe,
developers.
maybe their character designer was like, "Look, dude, I can do it, but I just can't draw shirts." They
You ever wonder why some games only ever draw characters in shoes, never their feet?
yeah, just it's easier to do that. Maybe it's easier for them just to not do shirts and not worry about the physics.
Yeah.
But either way, Kevin, hopefully for your sake, more shirts are added to League of Legends.
I just want shirts. Take him down to the
highly
TJ
doubt it.
Maxx. TJ Maxx has the $5 shirts on the rack ready to buy. Just take him down there. It's not that hard.
My yikes of the week comes from the land of Rocket League.
Oh.
Now, Kevin, we just got done with E3, and there was a big section of E3, a lot of time spent talking about the diversity and inclusion and how gaming is one big happy family. All in the month of June, nonetheless, which is Pride Month, if you didn't know.
Yes.
If you're ever wondering why every company on Twitter changes their things to rainbow, it's for Pride. Well, go figure. After E3, I was like, damn, you know what? I'm sure everyone is hearing this right now and taking it to heart. I'm sure everybody in every pug room is just really having a change of heart and saying, you know what? Maybe I'll stop being toxic as shit right now.
Oh, boy.
The answer is no, because Rocket League's Twitch page was forced in the championships this last weekend to send the chat into emote-only mode, which still, Twitch chat's pretty creative. You could still be, as we've learned with Overwatch League, just because it's emotes doesn't mean they can't be racist. They'll find a way. They will find a way. But they had to go to emotes-only mode because the chat was spamming so much racist and homophobic remarks.
I get that all the time in Rocket League games.
I was going to say, not surprising that it's involving Rocket League.
That's very clear. I mean, Rocket League is, I'd rather get spammed with like one of the pre-texted messages
like
already.
Nice
like,
save when you let one in.
What a goal. Yeah, what a save. What a save. Nice. Versus the emote and toxicity spam in the Rocket League, Twitch page. That's just, they should have known better. Come on now.
That's why I always love when people are, first off, if we are wanting to take esports to this next professional level where a lot of money's involved and we really want to be taken truly serious, you're going to have to just, I don't even know if it's possible in Twitch to do it, but just to straight up disable chat.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason ESPN and all these older sites got rid of the comment section on their website.
They were garbage.
It's because people who are anonymous have no filter and no remorse to anything. You take away an identity and it's just this shroud of mysterious figures. Everyone turns into a racist 13-year-old.
I mean, that's the power of freedom of speech on the internet behind that wall of anonymity, If nobody knows who you are, you can just spout off whatever nonsense pops into your head. So that's...
And, you can go on there and do your E3 speech and being like, guys, we just need to be better. And, hey, if you see someone being racist or sexist in Valorant, speak up against them. Oh, because because the thing that's making the difference is no one's telling them in the game that they're being toxic and racist.
I had
That's
no idea.
that's what's holding them back. They would be a completely better person if only I told them. Because that's what they need to hear it from. Some other random dude, with the name P Shroom. Yeah, that's going to last. That's going to make the lasting impact on them. I'm not saying they're right. Obviously, they're wrong. What I'm saying is you just need to, in situations like this, disable chat. Don't even give them the option for an emote. Just straight up disable it.
I mean, it's the same thing. I think with any live event, it just turns into this weird repetitive garbage that gets spouted over and over and over
and I'm
again.
sure you'll get people who are like, well, how you can't get rid of Twitch chat? That's freedom of speech or some nonsense like that. Like, listen, dudes, we've watched TV for many, many, many years without seeing a chat room right next to it. You don't need it. No one actually reads Twitch chat.
Society was better without the chat in the middle of a live show. Let me just say that, okay? We don't need a live chat happening in the middle of watching, American Idol or something.
No, not at all. So just get rid of it. Use Twitter. Get on your own Discord or whatever. I don't think Twitch chat in a live esports, if they just need to all be disabled. I think for the sake of argument, sponsors will feel better about it. TOs will feel better. I think everyone will be a little bit more honest with themselves and just enjoy the game. You don't need to spam. No one can. When you have 150,000 people watching, it doesn't matter because you can't read any of it anyways.
It's all just like dribble. Like, hey, look, he wrote. I can't. I missed it. It's gone. It's
right.
gone.
So half the shit I don't even understand. Like even if I did like pause it to read it, I'm like, I don't even understand the words that you're saying right now. And that could be...
The memes that you're spitting out make no sense.
Yeah, that could be because I'm like 31 now and I just don't understand these Zoomers, but I just don't understand half the memes that they're trying to say. So, I don't get it. Yeah, Canada in chat says Skynet couldn't even filter Twitch chat. This is why I don't ever have to worry about a Terminator Skynet situation. Because first off, I have Amazon Alexa, and that is dumb as bricks. Like, never understands me half the time anyways and doesn't know half the shit I ask it. So, first off, don't have to worry about any AI taking over there. Second off, yes, as soon as the machines were trying to... If the machines learn from our behavior on the internet, they're just going to be a bunch of racist 13-year-olds who have slept with my mom. So, we really don't have anything to worry there either.
No, we really don't.
So... That's my long story short of they should probably just disable chat. Don't even give the option for an emote.
There you go. Yeah, no, I like it.
Save yourself some sponsor money. Disable chat. Easy enough.
Do.
Easy.
Don't need Coca-Cola breathing down your neck asking, why is Twitch chat full of people saying Coca-Cola sucks?
Right, yeah. Because it doesn't matter what sponsor you are. You're going to get that. Even though 99% of those people are drinking Coke anyways. All right, Kevin, there is Yikes of the Week. Did you have another one?
I think we should. I think we're good there for now.
Okay.
I think we're honestly good there.
So, time to the brand new segment of Kevin Explains League of Legends TCR's Discord to Tim.
All right, here I am. I'm here at the Discord, on the TCR Discord. Where am I starting here?
I'm just going to read some of these to you. Give me a breakdown here. Unbiased opinion. This is coming from the land of Thorn, which I know you just love him so much.
God.
But looking past that, the Liquid drama going on with, I believe, a player was dropped after being signed, and he's supposed to be really good.
Yes. So Alfari and his coach Jet have some issues to work out there. Liquid is not in the best of places right now in the LCS.
Is he still on the roster?
He is technically still on the roster. Yeah, we'll say yeah for now. For now, he's more just inactive. We'll say that he's an inactive part of the roster. Which means pretty much he can be called back into activity whenever they come to an agreement at some point. And so pretty much from what I'm understanding, it's just a big old personal issue between his coach Jat and him. Nobody's saying anything. Everybody's being passive aggressive on Twitter. It's like it's a weird situation to be caught in, you know? And if people are familiar with the situation in Dallas right now, it's like, do you get rid of the head coach, or do you pay attention, or forget about your star player? And this kind of happened in this way that Alfari is kind of getting the short end of the stick. I don't think Jat's gonna end up winning this battle anytime soon, because when it comes down to talent versus how well you can cooperate with people on your team, talent they always win out.
So you think the player is going to win out? Or no?
Eventually, yeah.
Okay.
I think they'll win out.
Eventually, he will win out.
Yeah, you can't bench a player like that for more than a week or two and expect to get away with it.
Are coaches in league like in CS? This wouldn't be like this is a no-brainer. You get rid of the coach, right?
Yeah.
Are coaches like higher valued in league?
I wouldn't say they're higher valued. I mean, there was a team last year who played without a coach, in their vicinity, but while it was online, didn't have a coach anywhere nearby, and so I wouldn't say it's necessary, but I think it's such a big advantage you can't exactly play without one.
Right.
Right? There's certain things that a coach will keep in mind that a player really can't. So the coach will pay attention to like the macro kind of state of the game as the series goes on. The players have focused on the micro and at best the map around the game. But the coach is looking at, picks and bans throughout a series. They're looking at strats throughout the series. They're looking at what's a common thing this team will do under a certain team comp. It's a bunch of things like that that kind of add up to be a really valuable piece of a League of Legends roster. And so that's kind of where you can say like, oh, we can play without without a coach for a while, but at some point the other teams will catch up on that, and you will be at a disadvantage.
Next thing on TCR's Discord League of Legends chat. WTF, CLG is actually playing good. CLG goes 3-0, and people perceive to freak out.
Yep, that's truly Counter Logic gaming, as the meme goes, right? Counter Logic currently, they're out of the 10 teams in the LCS, they are ranked 9th in the standings. They're tied with a 9-18 record with FlyQuest. So that's not great. Obviously 9-18 across the entire spring and summer split. I mean, in terms of their summer record, 4-5 ain't too bad, right? Counter Logic, just none of their players are great. At best, you got Broxa, who is the jungler, who is really the main kind of shot caller there on that team. Pobelter, Wild Turtle, they're all kind of what would you call they're shadows of their former selves from 2 years ago. They're not really that great anymore. It's hard to say, and it's kind of funny that this is the team that would go 3-0 this weekend, and I mean, you got to give them props for that, right? Like at some point, I guess you beat EG Evil Geniuses, not too hard. You beat 100 Thieves, and that's something to be, to kind of hang on your shoulder. That's the second best team in the league right now. And then you beat Dig, who Dig just throws. That's what Dig does. They throw games at the last second. So Counter Logic Gaming prevails.
So looking at the LCS then, because I'm not as familiar with the ongoings with mid-season stuff, right? Like mid-action.
Yeah.
I feel like I have seen on Twitter and our Discord people saying that every single one of these teams suck.
Yes. NA is garbage.
Like, is that just the LCS meme? Like, it's just like they
it's
all.
Not just
it's
the
not
LCS meme. It is the international meme for League of Legends at this point. If there's one thing you can count on out of the LCS, it's that at some point NA will falter. They'll falter big, and they'll falter for a good long while.
Like this
right?
is like the Eastern Conference in the NBA or the Western Conference. Which one was it for like the longest time?
Eastern Conference, maybe like I think 5 years ago, the Eastern Conference was seen as LeBron's playground.
Right.
And so if you think about it like that, North America, LCS.
But no LeBron. They just all suck.
Exactly. They are the playground for everybody else to jump onto and play on. That's really what it comes down to. And so, I mean, I'm not trying to harp on C9. I know that C9 is your organization. You love them. But they kind of, they kind of didn't show up at all at MSI. And so that's kind of the meme that everybody builds on. NA sucks. At some point, you're going to get teams like Counter Logic Gaming go on a hot streak in the summer. They're going to falter by the end of the year. And maybe they'll get a third place seeded spot into Worlds. But I don't expect any big things to come out of CLG.
And I guess that's the issue, right, with LCS. It's like they always make that miraculous run to get there. And then when they get there, it's like you guys already you blew it too soon. Like
pretty much.
You used all your fairy dust just to get to the dance, and now you're there and you blow it. All right.
That's how it works.
Well, there you go, Kevin. Well, thank you for explaining League of Legends Discord channel in TCR's Discord. Anytime. Now I feel like I can be a part of the conversation.
All you gotta know is NA sucks, and you gotta repeat that over and over and over again, and people will agree with you.
All right, so getting here then, speaking of, well, I guess NA doesn't necessarily suck here, but with Call of Duty, we had the Dallas homestand just recently wrap up this weekend. First LAN event in, I mean, what, March of last year? I don't remember the last one. It's
plus.
Yeah, right? It's been over a year since we've seen LAN. Have never seen LAN in Cold War. Never. We even had Rambo, Dallas's coach, on maybe a month or so ago now, and he's even said they don't even practice it on LAN. Like, why would you? You're playing online. You need to be in that atmosphere. But still, I was shocked to hear that. Like, even as just like you guys play this game for like 18 hours a day. You just never even dabble in offline. Just maybe, hey boys, why don't we just come over and play some in the office type of thing? Like nothing. And he said, no, we scrim online. That's just that's the world we live in now. So that's what we do. Okay.
No, and he said the same thing to me on my show. He's like, yeah, we just practice on our own connections away from the practice area they have at NVHQ, and it's just, and also, I mean, this was a stage 4 major, wasn't it? So this is like a big deal in terms of prize money being gifted out. So not just a LAN event, it was the first LAN major for these guys as well.
$500,000 prize pool. So yeah, it's very it's a big, I think you only have one stage left and then champs, right? So we're headed towards the tail end of the season. Now, although this was a LAN event, unfortunately, Kevin, media was not allowed, so we were not able to attend despite it being in our backyard.
Sucks.
A bummer, considering in like 3 weeks we'll be there for the Overwatch League, but let's not bring that up. Like, yeah, same company, same teams practically, but let's not bring it up. It's, it's logic. It's what I like to call COVID logic. it's
truly counter logic.
It's Starbucks taking my coffee that I see them physically holding to then put it in a coffee cup and hand it to me so they don't touch the cup that I'm about to get, even though I just saw them, Kevin, put the cup inside of the coffee cup.
Yeah, that's about right.
I call that COVID logic. Anywho, I digress, because this was actually an incredible event, and it's mixed messages even on the pro side. Some people are saying it's because it's LAN. I don't know if I completely buy into that as much, given the fact that this was the first LAN event. And from what I understand, teams weren't really practicing on LAN. I don't think, and we'll talk a little bit about this with Counter-Strike, so I won't delve too far into it. I don't think you see this massive difference anymore between LAN and online skill gap. Back last year when it was sprung on us, sure, I get it, because you had the teams in California, or even if teams are still in California, I get that. But right now you have a lot of teams playing in Dallas anyway. So, to a point, you can make that excuse. But that's just my 2 cents.
I mean, I agree with you, because I had one of the casters on Lando a few weeks back. He came on my show and talked about, I asked him literally the same thing you brought up. Is there a skill gap when you play on LAN versus when you play online? He said, I don't think so. I think there'll be an adjustment period of a few games, and these guys will get back on it. These are pros. These are not your average everyday kind of console kiddies playing, randomly whenever they can. These guys are, they win. Their whole career is geared towards winning COD tournaments. And if they can't do it in a game's worth of adjustment periods on LAN versus online, they're not meant to be pros.
Yeah, like I can understand you being rusty in practice, but I assume they've practiced enough on LAN to get adjusted relatively quickly.
Exactly.
So there's that food for thought. Now, that doesn't, despite those, some of the biggest oofs on here, and this is honestly, it could be in Yikes of the Week, but just for the sake of keeping it in the Call of Duty, all this drama leading up to this event, Kevin, about Hook and 100 Thieves and Dallas and Crim 6 and the Adderall. We talked about it on this show, the Adderall, and he's getting clean and he's being healthy and his life is turning around, and everyone was on. It was Team Hook.
all the way.
He could do no wrong. It was Team Hook. Everyone was rooting for him this event, especially being that it's in Dallas. It's their home, back at home. Hey, let's see how this goes.
First LAN event.
First LAN event. You're back in Dallas. You're back on your own turf. Like, you see your old teammates. You're really here to show up.
You're riding high off the support from people online. It's really just making you feel great. And then all of a sudden,
And not even then too though. Round 1,
yeah.
LA Thieves versus LA Gladiators. You have the LA matchup round. I mean, this is literally setting the stage perfectly for Hook. Apart from one tiny little detail, and that's Hook didn't play in that match. Why, you ask? Because there was a mix-up with the COVID paperwork. So all these players had to get tested for COVID and obviously for safety protocol. Totally get it. Yes, here in Texas, it's pretty much gone. People are like, COVID what? Whether or not it's gone, or we just choose to ignore it, that's for another podcast, but it's pretty much gone mentally here. But I get, you want these players to be safe. They're traveling. The last thing you want, if you're the Call of Duty League, is to finally dip your toe backs into the water on LAN and then everyone gets COVID. Like, that's the last thing you want, because then you're going right back to online for the rest of the year, and who knows how comfortable you are with it next year. So I get that. So, but it came out on Twitter, Kevin, that Hook was unable to participate, and he tweeted out saying that I have the tweet here.
LA Thieves tweeted out that, like, last minute scratch, we're gonna have Draza play in place of Hook. We had some issues with Hook's COVID test. That's all he said pretty much. And then Hook says, "Oh yeah, I missed my COVID test somehow and sucks, but I wish the guys the best of luck." Pretty much that's what he said. And then
so nonchalant.
Yeah,
hey guys, I'm not gonna be playing today. A little mix up with the COVID paperwork. So good luck, everyone. Have fun. And everyone's like on Twitter is like, hold up, what?
What do you mean mix up?
Like, you had all of this like prep time and the drama leading up to it and the hype and the support. Like, you told us you changed everything around and you're getting better, and now you're saying there's a small little mix up with the COVID paperwork. And of course the rumor mill is starting to turn here now, right?
Back on the Addy, right? That's what they're all saying.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, he must be back on Adderall, or he must be doing this, or it must be something with the team now and they don't want to play with them again. Not enough practice, everything there. Well, Nate Shot went on Twitter, Kevin, to set the record straight. So he said,
or did he?
So he says this with a completely straight face. He was talking to another guy on Twitter. Why are you twisting these into some fan fiction conspiracy when it's just black and white? Kyler spelled his name wrong on his COVID test from last night, so it was invalid. Then forgot his ID back at the hotel and was unable to be tested again.
It's so black and white. That's so black and white.
Now, I will say one thing that makes it not as like, what the hell happened just now? It's not so much he spelled it, it was a typo. So it's electronic. So we've all been there where we fat fingered something, right? We've all fat fingered on the phone or a tablet. Fair. I'll give him that. But bro, you have one job to do, and that is to compete in Call of Duty. And if part of that means you have to spell your name right and take 2 seconds to realize that you made a typo on your name on the COVID test form. And like Nate Shot is saying this like with a straight face, like, guys, I don't know why everyone's freaking out. He just misspelt his own name and forgot his ID at the hotel.
No, okay, he didn't just forget his ID. He forgot his ID and was an hour late to the second chance COVID test.
Did we get an explanation on why he was an hour late?
No. I mean, you tell me, right? I'm paying a professional player to play games. He shows up an hour late to a thing he was supposed to be, at. By the way, I'm assuming like the hotel they're at is right by Esports Stadium Arlington where all this was taking place.
No.
And I'm assuming no, it wasn't.
Well, okay. I say no. There is a hotel for people who have not been in Esports Stadium Arlington. There's a hotel, a Sheridan, that literally connects to it. They have a walking path that connects the hotel to the venue. Okay. Now, I know for Counter-Strike, the players do not stay at that hotel.
Oh.
Because it's not nice enough.
Okay.
So they stay at another hotel down Ballpark Avenue.
Gotcha. Okay,
so
I don't know if that's shuttle to get here.
I don't know if that's the same for everyone, but there's legit a hotel that connects to the venue. The fact that he left his ID at the hotel and it was a big enough deal that he couldn't just run and get it tells me that they also do not stay at the hotel that connects to the venue.
That's detective work right there, Sherlock Holmes. That's true. You're right on that. And so pretty much still you go, if you're in an area that you're not familiar with, why not carry your wallet ID with you? That's a weird thing to not carry with you. How are you going to buy drinks after you win that big land, big boy?
That's a very gamer thing to do, is just to be like, oh, I forgot my ID. I forgot my wallet. Like I feel so lost if I don't have it. But for Nadeshot to just come out on Twitter and be like, guys, we've all been there. We've all made a typo at a chance to play at the first LAN and make redemption stories. And come on, guys. So, and it doesn't, like, to add salt to the wound, they lost. So he didn't even get to play because they started in the losers bracket. They lost 3-2 to the Gorillas. So he doesn't even get to play. So not only does Hook have all this drama leading up to this event, he's back on the starting roster after being benched from LA. He gets to be in Dallas to hopefully get to the point of playing Dallas, which was a long shot to begin with. But you never know, right? Hey, this is the roster everyone was hoping to see with LA Thieves. You make a typo on your COVID form. You forget your ID. You're late to the second COVID test, so they won't let you take it. And then you lose. The team loses. You don't even get to play.
And they lost in a 5-game series, which meant Hook definitely could have been that difference maker in that game. So that's just like, God, dude, you fucked up on so many levels here. And so I just got to ask Nadeshot if I had the chance, like, do you not worry about the lack of professionalism from Hook here?
Like,
come on.
I want E3 style where he doesn't know it's being, like, published. So he gives me an honest answer and being like, just, hey, the cameras are off. Microphones are not recording. What are you thinking right now?
Are you worried?
Like, do you realize how crazy it sounds that you have to defend your player for making a typo on his COVID test and missing the match and then losing said match? Like, do you realize how ridiculous that sounds? Because it's absolutely ridiculous. Another highlight here for this event to me is Chicago, Dallas. We've had that rivalry. Obviously, that's Chicago Envy rivalry spawning back since the dawn of time in Call of Duty. We got to witness that twice. And me being such a huge Optic fan, Kevin, I don't know if you know this. I'm green wall all day, homie. Not really. Love it.
Trying to suck up to Hex.
I love it. No, Hex is never allowed on this show. I've said it multiple times. He has to apologize to me first. He can apologize on the show. That's fine. I love seeing Optic lose. I absolutely love it. And in a fashion that they did twice to Dallas, which again, the story, it's almost like this is fake because the storylines leading up to this event, Hook, then he fails to play. Crim 6 and formal drama on Twitter. They're matched up first round. They match up again, losers round 5. So we get it back to back, an elimination match between Dallas and Chicago after all the back and forth trash talk on Twitter. You love to see it. And the fact that Dallas only gives up one map to Chicago, brilliant. I mean, seriously, it's like fake WWE level of storytelling right now.
I was asked before the weekend, this stream was full of majors and everything like that. People were asking, like, what are you going to watch? And I was like, there's only one thing on my mind that I want to watch right now, and that is the drama that is going to come out of Call of Duty this weekend. And did we ever get it in spades? That Optic match, rematch with Empire, mwah, chef's kiss on top of an already pretty good weekend. Not to mention what we're going to get into on Sunday, but still, just ugh, I love the memes. I love the cracking at each other. It's awesome stuff. It's what esports is all about.
Now, Formal did on Twitter, he did kind of own up to it and said, look, winning kind of trumps talking trash, and GG's to Dallas. I'll give Formal some credit there. One thing though, and I always say this about Chicago, and I stand by it. They're mental midgets. When they lose, they do not know how to handle it, and they just go spiraling down.
Yeah.
That being said, I know Scump came out on Twitter and said, look, I've been trying to do it. Losing is getting harder and blah, blah, blah. And I don't talk about mental health a lot, but it's been rough lately.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say this first. Mental health is very important. If you're going through stuff, it's very important to handle it and deal with it the proper way for you. Right? I prefaced by you. Everyone's different. Okay. So that being said, I'm supportive of it.
Yeah, I agree. It's I can see,
right?
Yeah.
Safe place here. Okay.
Yeah.
That said, Scump and his posse of Green Wall are some of the biggest shit talkers, not in just Call of Duty, but in all of esports. So if you're going to talk all that shit, you better be prepared to take it. And especially when you're losing, and especially when you're down, you're going to get it 10 times over. We saw it earlier in the year when he went off on, was it Florida's? Was it Florida FaZe?
Florida Mutineers.
Was it Florida Mutineer who posted the meme of them?
Yeah.
I think it was Florida. And he kind of popped off saying how unacceptable it was and all this. And look, I get it. If you're going through stuff and it's meant to, look, losing is hard. First and foremost, especially if you're used to winning, losing is hard. That can put you in your mind in a pretzel to begin with, right?
Yeah.
But now to say, mental health and all that, I don't know, dude. You just got eliminated from a major here. I don't know. Like, I'm sounding like a jerk, and I know that because, like, I hear myself say these words. But at the same time, like, you're still, like, your team was even talking shit up until this very point. Up until the point of being eliminated. You guys are yelling and talking shit to everyone. And now you're eliminated, and it's like, guys, it's been rough. I just mentally, I'm not there. I feel for you, and I hope, to whatever level of severity, if this is mental issues and the fact of just, hey, we're losing and we're in a rut and we got to get through it, or if it's, hey, there's more going on. Obviously, if it's the latter, I hope he gets through it. If it's the before where, it's just them losing, tough. Deal with it. Like, welcome to reality.
I'm going to need Scump to at least apologize for all the shit he's talked about at least then,
I mean, I don't even need him to apologize. I just need him to also be willing to take it.
At least acknowledge it, right? Like, if you're talking about, like, how down you feel after a loss like that and how the internet kind of climbs on you and rakes you over the coals, you can say that, but you also have to admit, like, you were a bit of a factor in other players feeling the same way.
Right.
And so I'm just curious, like, you regret the shit talk yet?
It's him, it's Hex, it's all of them. It's all of them in Optic. Like I said, I love their fan base. I've always said it, partly because of how dedicated they are. They will ride or die with their team, right? Like, even like the last event, Chicago has looked pretty rough this year. They win one match and their entire fan base is like, we're championship bound. Like this, they are the Dallas Cowboys of the Call of Duty League, where you have Cowboys fans saying that the team just needs to blow up, leave town, move, just sell the franchise. But then they win one game and they're like, or we could win the Super Bowl this year. It could happen. And that is Optic. The Optic fans are that same way. And I love it. I love seeing them, I love it because they're supportive, but I also love it equally because I enjoy watching them lose and be miserable.
Exactly. I mean, and that's not to say that, Crim Six is one of the biggest villains in Call of Duty, And he does it well, right? He's like the perfect heel for the league. Everybody hates him, but they still love to watch him. And he's entertaining. He can back it up. And I'm sure, when FaZe ended up winning on Sunday, that people gave Crim a lot of shit for it. But you know what? Dude backed it up. He doesn't complain about, the shit talk thrown back at him. So for me, it's like, why not try and be just that kind of the water slides off your back is not a big deal for you. Why can't you be that way? Why does that affect you like that in a way that just kind of doesn't exactly make sense? You can dish it out. You can't take it. Admit that.
Like I said, in the realm of competition, I enjoy seeing them lose. Obviously, though, we can all agree if it turns into some mental thing that, I'm never one. I'm not going to kick them while they're down
Exactly.
in their personal lives. But if you're down because you just lost, I'm not above reminding you that you lost. Like that's just me. That's just personally me.
Yeah.
Now continuing though with the Dallas trend, we also had them really kind of funny enough. They played Chicago twice. They played Toronto twice. Toronto, first of all, they're the real deal.
Yes.
And I feel like it was like this at the tail end of last year, where you're constantly looking at Toronto Ultra and you're thinking, okay, this is a fluke, or not necessarily a fluke, but it's a one-off. And no, I think they're legit.
They're top 3 team right now.
Oh,
That's I'm gonna make the call. They're a top 3 team right now.
top 3. So Atlanta, Dallas, Toronto.
100%. That's how it goes. I mean, Dallas in that final, they proved that they could compete with FaZe, but they couldn't overcome them. So I think that means obviously FaZe has won. What, they've won 3 out of 4 majors so far, and the one that didn't win, they won second. That's top 1 team right there, in my book. And Dallas coming back with a newer roster. Obviously the issues worked out with Vivid now, where they're kind of all gears. They're clicking. They're going forward. I think another major they could see a victory against FaZe. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, FaZe is on another level.
Yeah.
And I think Dallas might be the only team that can knock them off just because they've gotten so close and things like that. But FaZe is on another level. The thing with Dallas, and people forget, is they lost in the grand finals 5-4 to Atlanta, and I think you said it too, where they were so close to winning.
Mm-hmm.
But they also had to reverse sweep Toronto to get there.
Yes.
And although I love Tevin, I love reverse sweeps as almost more than bracket resets and double elimination events. Almost love them more. But much like an amazing save from a goalie in hockey, the only reason you can make that amazing play is because you put yourself in a bad situation to start. And that's how you had it with the Dallas-Toronto series. You had a reverse sweep, but you were also down 2-0 at one point.
Not a good thing. There's improvement there.
So the fact that you were able to then take Atlanta 5-4 is, I think, worth note then that you had the chance. And I mean, they were, what was that? Refresh my memory. I think that wasn't this the one where they were Dallas was defusing the bomb as they lost. Am I wrong?
No, this was not that one.
Which one? Which one was that?
That was the one. I think it's the one before.
Was that Toronto? The first Toronto-Dallas matchup?
Yeah, I think it was Toronto-Dallas, the first Toronto-Dallas match where they got caught defusing the bomb. Illy,
You're right. You're right.
Was almost
They
there.
were on the bomb, got caught defusing it. Awkward spot there. First off, it was an incredible series. The first Toronto-Dallas.
Very
incredible.
Almost as good as the finals, honestly.
Yeah. So I mean, look, I think Dallas is in a good spot. I would like to see. I'm looking forward to the future, though, to see consistency out of Dallas. We've seen them kind of be on and off. Dare I say, you could almost make them like a tied for number 3 with Toronto, with number 2 being vacant in the league. Only because I've seen some inconsistency. They still have a newer-ish roster with Dallas. I want to see how that plays out. But look, I just want to see someone beat FaZe. I really don't. I don't want FaZe to dominate stage 5 and then get into champs. And I mean, we could have another repeat of last year where it's just happenstance, where a team comes in and takes it. But
Here's one thing that I think that I saw in that very very last map, that search and destroy on raid, that it just kind of made me question, like, is Dallas a top 2 team when they pull out strats like this? Very last map, right? You're up against the wall. You win this, you move on to the next, the next round of search and destroy. You lose this, it's the series right there. You lose it. They call a weird choice where they kind of all sit back on B defending, and then meanwhile FaZe just rushes A. They plant the bomb, set up a defense around A, and then all of a sudden Dallas is on this back foot where they have to force their way into that site. And it's just like, you guys played a 50-50, like, kind of heads or tails, decide which point you're gonna defend, and you chose wrong. Is a 50-50 really what you guys want to do on that last second, your backs are up against the wall kind of moment? And the answer should always be no. You shouldn't leave it up in the air like that. You should be making the most consistent play in that moment. And I think obviously that might come down to play calling in the moment. It might have been, I know Vivid said he made some play calls, clutch ones in earlier games. I'm not sure if he was the one responsible for that one, but it's something that needs to work on moving forward. And that's why I think I'd agree with your point that tied third with a vacant second might be the better option here.
So we'll see how that goes in the future. Stage 5 is set to start, I believe, July 1st.
Yes.
So we have about a week off. Next Thursday, we'll see Stage 5 kicking off here. Back to online play. And I don't know with the major, have they said, is Stage 5 major at the moment online? We'll see. I have to imagine that might change. Maybe we'll have it back in Dallas. It's most of the teams are here anyways. So we'll see. It would be It would be weird if they made Stage 4 offline and then Stage 5 online and then the champs back to offline.
That'd make no sense. Just keep it consistent. I honestly, I'd be okay if they just kept all the majors offline, and then you could do the home stands the weeks leading up to the major, kind of the online aspect. And I'd be fine with that. I wouldn't like it, but I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I understand logistics and everything there, and like we've seen with other leagues like Overwatch League and stuff. I think that's almost how you're going to see esports ran. I just think the way we do things in esports doesn't allow for like a weekly, like these matches in general are very short, right? In the sense of, is it worth selling out a stadium for traveling across the country for like a home event, right? I don't know. But if you can do online leading up to a big tournament, that's easier to sell. So I could see where these kind of come into play. And then, like you said, majors offline, sell the tickets, and who knows, maybe we can go to the next one.
Please, I'd love to go.
We will see. So there's some Call of Duty action real quick here then to talk some Counter-Strike. We did have the Blast Premier Spring wrap up over the weekend. Gambit defeating Na'Vi, G2 getting third, Nip fourth. I watched some of this here. Now I will say, Na'Vi defeated G2 2-1 in the losers bracket final. Now, Kevin, I don't know how much Counter-Strike you necessarily follow.
I know enough to know that G2 being 2-1 and that losers final by Na'Vi is a pretty big deal.
I will say this about those two teams in particular, Na'Vi and G2. No matter where they end up in any tournament as of late, like recently I feel like I'm always looking at them thinking they either overperformed or underperformed. And it doesn't matter which one ends up where. Like G2 I feel like should be, and same thing with Na'Vi. I feel both of them are a top 5, top 3 team at any given moment. But then at other times, when they lose, they just lose. So not saying this match in particular, but when they lose, like G2 we've also seen bounced. Na'Vi we've seen recently bounced so early on in events. And so it's like anytime, wherever they end up, I'm like, damn, okay. Losers bracket final for both of them. Not bad. Not like, but at the same time, I feel like it's a little bit of underperforming and overperforming at the same time, if that even makes sense.
It does, because I mean, earlier in this upper bracket, right, you had big defeating G2, and it was 2-1, but I felt like it wasn't really that close. Big just kind of outplayed G2 in that game, and it was just kind of like, well, you hang your head on your head and go, well, Big was a better team that day, and then G2 goes on this massive losers bracket run to end up with Navi in that losers bracket final. And I'm just like, is this team? I mean, I know I said they were underperforming earlier, but now it feels like they're overperforming in the losers bracket.
It's like, okay, G2 losing to Big. I think G2 should win that, but we've seen them struggle, and Big's been okay lately. And then, yeah, you're right. They go on defeating FaZe, Complexity, and NiP in the losers bracket, and you're like, wait a minute, G2. Like, did you just forget that Big was a match that you had that counted? What are you doing? It's like they just wait for the losers bracket. Like they need that adrenaline rush to get through the losers or something like that. But incredible match between Navi and G2, leading up to the finals of Gambit and Navi. Gambit defeating Navi 2-0. Again,
I mean, let's be real. Gambit did this twice. They beat Navi twice.
Yeah.
Upper bracket final the day before, into the grand final. I mean, what were your expectations going into that? Did you think Gambit was going to pull off that victory?
Yeah, I did. I've said this before. I am a believer in Gambit at this point. And as I just mentioned, I kind of I'm not unbeliever of Navi, but I'm also not putting money on Navi.
Fair enough.
I won't be surprised if they perform well and win, but I'm also not willing to bet the house on them because they could blow it. But I don't think this is that case. I don't think this is a case of Navi blowing it against Gambit. I mean, we've seen them in the last year just, play on another level. We've kind of had that resurgence of Hobbit being a top player again, which is awesome to see. I love me some Hobbit. Despite him being very confused when I asked him for a liner at DreamHack one year.
Oh,
and
goodness.
you would have thought I asked him for drugs. He was like, no, I can't. I'm like, he's like, you have to ask the team. I'm like, I don't think I have to ask your team for this, but good luck. But no, look, and this is the narrative going around now in Counter-Strike, but in esports in general, as I mentioned earlier, where, COVID's kind of slowing down. We're getting more comfortable with LAN events. We're getting more comfortable with traveling. LAN events are coming back, right? We're slowly but surely seeing it, maybe not with full fans, but we're seeing at least more and more events pop up. And so the question is, when are these teams that kind of peaked in this last year in the online era going to drop off again? Because a lot of times we see that. We see some teams perform better online versus LAN, whether that be because of the pressure of LAN, because the experience of LAN, which I think does play a part to it. I do. But I also, in my opinion, feel like it's somewhat of an attitude towards online play by the bigger orgs as well. Yeah. And I feel like after a year of it, over a year of online play, we have to stop using that excuse. We can't constantly use this, well, it's online play, as a crutch. What does Gambit have to do to earn some of these people's respect?
I mean, at this point, I don't think they can really worry about the respect anymore. They've won, $500,000 in the past 6 months alone just competing? I mean, at that point, I'm like, you know what? Screw it. They can't even worry about it. Just play your games. Because you just won 225,000 big ones in the spring finals. And so, I mean,
you're number one in the world. You don't get to number one in the world by just fluking your way through online play. I'm sorry. You just don't. You can do it in a tournament, but not for a year.
Yeah. And speaking of year-long runs like this, Australis played offline for a year, top of their game, and then crashed and burned. You're not going to tell me that online versus offline is that different. Are you? Come on. It's not.
Or you have to play it both ways, right? If you're going to say, hey, this team is great, but they're only good online, therefore they suck. Right? That's kind of how people view it. Well, I think we have to view it the same way then is, hey, this team is great, but almost like Virtus Pro 6 years ago, where they were on LAN dominated. Any online event or qualifier, they were trash. And that, I think, is partially because they didn't care. I think they didn't take it serious. But again, You got to. The online play qualifies. Now that we've even seen this, right? Who knows how we handle qualifiers for future events, like leading up to things in the future, right? Are you going to have these month-long qualifiers that these players have to travel the world for now? Or are we going to see online NA qualifiers that filter into bigger tournaments in EU where you get invited? Yeah, who knows? Who knows if everyone keeps saying, oh, well, when things get back to normal. Dudes, we had a year-long pandemic, global pandemic. I don't think going back to normal is a guarantee. I don't think it's a guarantee that we get back to exactly the lifestyle we had before, with some of the conveniencies, or depending on how you look at it, inconveniencies of it, right? Almost like work and working from home now. It's like, hey, people have different expectations. Well, much like these TOs have figured out ways to do things online. And you mean I don't have to rent out an entire hotel ballroom to host these players for offline qualifiers? Like, oh, that saves me $30,000 or whatever it is, right? Like, this is great. Who knows how things end up? So online play, as of now, still matters. I don't think you can look at it and being like, now, of course, if you had teams cheating, that's obviously different. But I don't think you can look at this and being like, well, it's online, so let's see him perform at LAN. Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens at LAN, but I don't feel like it's just going to be like Gambit #1 in the world to Gambit gets first round knockout, for the next year when LAN picks up.
And if it is like that, it's just the nature of the game. Because G2 gets knocked out in the first round of this tournament, right? Pretty much, and they end up in losers. So I'm not going to take any credence into that at all, really. It's just kind of a weird.
Like I said, I understand there's a difference. Like I've competed in games before, and I can tell you, yes, there's an absolute difference of playing online and in front of people. I get it. But a year's worth of play, it's just it's hard to fluke into that to me. So I'm a believer in Gambit. I'm not surprised anymore when they beat teams. Keep in mind, I mean, these guys have won a major in recent past, not the most recently, but in recent past with, as an org themselves. So, I mean, it's not completely out of the question that they know what they're doing.
Exactly.
That's my 2 cents on it. I am a believer in Gambit, but overall, Blast Premier Spring, awesome event. I will give them credit, Kevin, because they finally did one thing that I have spoken to TOs about and pitched ideas for the center ring to do it, and we've just never heard back. But it is to include podcast segments during intermission.
Yeah. Very nice way to kind of break the ice instead of just throwing constant commercials in your face, or the same
the
3 commercials in your face.
Generic free-to-play song in the world.
Yep.
So I will give credit to Blast. I did appreciate the Launders Shorty podcast or Scrawny podcast in intermission from time to time. I did appreciate that. So there's that. I Am Summer. I don't remember if Anuj and I talked about FaZe being eliminated. I don't know if they were eliminated by the time we did our last show or not. But if we weren't, just to reiterate, FaZe was eliminated first round of both winners and losers. Never stood a chance. We'll see what happens with FaZe as they're doing whatever it is that they're doing. Cold is still on the bench. Olafmeister is still subbing in. I don't know mentally where Olafmeister would be at after, you're essentially taking Brett Favre out of retirement for the 5th time and asking him to replace one of the best players in the world. So I don't know what FaZe is doing. Evil Geniuses also equally showed up as poor. Didn't even win a map. Lost to Gambit and Ninjas in round 1s respectively. They're supposed to be NA's hope. Not
happening.
Would not hold your breath. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there with Counter-Strike. I believe the next big event,
Spring groups or whatever it's called, or no, that's later.
Trying to see here. Maybe the DreamHack Open. That's not even that big. I don't know. We'll have to. I'll look it up.
Cologne, I guess. Maybe Cologne. I guess Cologne would be the big one.
July. Oh yes, July 6th. So that makes sense. Probably some players are taking a break, and then big one there. I believe that's offline, isn't it? Yes, it is. I am Cologne offline July 6th.
$1 million prize pool, $400,000 go to that top team.
This is the major. Everyone, it's the major non-major.
Exactly.
So you'll have pretty much every big team there. Gambit will be there. So
Astralis, Navi, G2. I mean, everybody's there.
We will see. We'll see the fruition come into play as far as LAN versus online. Can the teams cut it? I don't know if fans will be there, but we'll at least have offline play to some extent. All right, so there you have it there. Let's get into some e-news, but before we do that, it is brought to you by Philly Esports. Philly Esports, friend of the show, good dudes. They host online monthly events. If you partaked in June's event, they actually had 2 because they are partnering with the U.S. Army to host a number of events, including Rocket League, Call of Duty, not Warzone, like actual Call of Duty events, and a Valorant tournament coming up in September that I believe the TCR boys are going to compete in. So if you want to be a part of that, we will need 3 members. Kevin, not you.
No, thank you.
Not
I don't hold up well under pressure.
I'm sorry, but maybe if you turned it around, maybe.
No, it's not happening anytime soon.
But so take a look, phillyesports.net. They'll have more information. They're also in our Discord. If you have any questions, hit us up in our Discord. We can get you the tournament dates and rules and what you need to know. I believe also if you join their Discord, it will have everything there as well. So phillyesports.net. All right, getting into some e-news here quickly. Some CS. Alu leaves ENCE. They part ways. Alu being the last remaining member from the ENCE major run.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, might have been like 2 majors. It feels like forever ago since we've even had a major. I can't even remember which one's which at this point. But end of an era for ENCE. We'll see what their plans are for the future. Kevin, the biggest CS trade of all time has taken place. Reportedly of all time. I'm sure there's something.
What did I miss?
2 Chinese fellows, collectors, if you will, ended up exchanging a total amount of real money of the amount of $775,000 for skins.
$775,000. You're talking. There's $750,000 at risk here for skins.
So there was involved like Dragon Lore souvenirs with Titan stickers, which Titan no longer a team, but very known for being the most expensive stickers. I think I've even sold one for like $60 once. Not a big deal, but yes, 700. How much money would you have to make to not care about spending that much on skins?
To not care if I wanted to spend $775,000. Oof, I'd have to be making at least a cool $10 million a year.
That's what I was thinking. But even that's like that's almost 10% of what you make. So even think now, would you spend 10% of what you make a year on one thing?
I mean,
for skins?
If you think about it, right, 10%, right? So if you have $1 billion, 10% of $1 billion is a cool 100 million or so. The difference between 900 million and the difference between 100 million and $1 billion is about $1 billion. So there you go. You make more money, the percentages don't matter that much.
At least in CS, you can sell them back somehow if someone's willing to spend that much on it. But good for them. I'm happy for them. I'm happy for them. The results are in, Kevin, and Overwatch is officially a tier 2 esport.
Ooh,
as they
down.
have done miserably in the ratings. Comparing their biggest events, which is the May Melee and the June Joust, compared to things like Dota, League of Legends, CS, Valorant, their larger events, pales in comparison. we're talking like an average of 55,000 viewers for the June Joust to like 180,000 average viewers for like the VCTs.
Yikes.
And that's like qualifiers. Not even on this chart that I was looking at, it was the qualifiers. It wasn't even like the finals. So yeah.
I mean, CDL wasn't doing that great either, was it? On YouTube, it was like 50K
it's
for grand final.
Look, and it's almost not fair in my opinion to compare Overwatch and CDL viewership, because you're right, it's on YouTube. And I just hate that they did that deal, because it is hard to compare what it would be doing on Twitch. You just got so many window shoppers and people at convenience. Like, I have buddies who watched it casually that don't anymore, and they said, I'm not going to YouTube. I don't remember it's on YouTube. You know, half the time you don't remember. You just pull up Twitch and you see a match, so you watch it. If you're a casual viewer.
Yeah, that's about right. But I'm just curious how much YouTube paid for that exclusive like right to broadcast those games. Because you have to think it had to be enough to kind of warrant them for a year or two, right?
Yeah, the number might be out there. I forget what it is off the top of my head, but I don't know. But the viewers are not good.
No.
In my opinion, for a league that costs 20 million plus to join, not good. But we'll see if Overwatch 2 breathes any light to it. In Valorant, VCT champs have been leaked in the recent video that Riot revealed. VCT champs, for all intents and purposes, looks like it's going to be in LA, Los Angeles, California.
You flying out there for the champs?
Not a total shock that it's in LA. I would like to go to the champs. If they do media and I can get in for free, possibly. I would like to. I would love to be there for the first one, but I guess we'll see where the world is at that point.
Right.
But I would love to. I would love to go see champs. Navi enters. It also depends on when champs is. I forget what date it is, but we have a wedding coming up in this year, and it's a destination wedding. The most inconvenient thing of my life. Very expensive.
November through December.
Okay, we'll see. Valorant. Other news in Valorant. Navi enters with signing Cloud Z, a Russian player formerly with Crow Crowd. So Navi has entered the Valorant world. In Dota news, T1 defeated Virtus Pro in the ESL1 Summer Championships, making it their first ever trophy as a team in Dota, which is shocking when you think of T1. It's such a historic org in the League of Legends world. First trophy as an org in Dota. In other news, NRG defeated Space Station after restarting the bracket in the Rocket League Championships. In the first part, they defeated them 4-1 or 4-2 and then 4-1 in the finals, becoming the Rocket League champions. I believe this is their second or third time.
Third time.
NRG dominating in Rocket League.
They're a pretty good Rocket League team.
Yeah, they've also won like
gaming.
Yeah, they won one of their earlier minor league mid-season things too.
Yeah, I will say it is a little disappointing there is no RLCSX Worlds event this year. It's just, this is it, guys. You get a North American champion, you get a European champion, you get a Oceania champion, a South American champion, and that's it. There's no like conclusive Worlds event where all these regions kind of compete against each other. So it's just, this is the best we got for the next 6 months or so.
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Is like when you have to plan all this, they just didn't know what was going to be. And maybe international travel is still dodgy. I don't know.
No, I'd be inclined to believe that. So you're right.
But we just did an event in Iceland. So.
No, that felt like a pretty, not last minute thing, but that was like a good month of preparation to get that out there.
I feel like they could at least get these teams together and do a tournament.
You're right.
You don't need to do events and stuff like that with fans. Just get these teams together to do a little tournament just to cap off a true world winner. But we'll see. In other news here, WoW Burning Crusade has been announced that they will have an arena event. So we'll see if this is a one-off or if Blizzard's planning on doing more arena Burning Crusade events. I don't think they ever did anything with Classic. Maybe some dungeon timed runs, but I don't think so. So interesting that they will be dipping their toes into Burning Crusade content in the esports world, as they just let, their other actual old games like StarCraft and Warcraft die at the branch. But hey, don't let me tell you how to do it.
As someone who was really into StarCraft 2, that was my first real big esport. I'm kind of disappointed with how. Yeah, that was I made up to, I think, platinum on StarCraft 2 in my heyday, 2012 or so, and I just fell off after that when the expansions came out. I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm good.
I was huge in StarCraft 1, and I was such a snob when StarCraft 2 came out. I didn't play it.
A Brood War snob over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I was that guy. I was like, you can't beat perfection, so I'm not even gonna play the game. Kind of wish I wasn't like that, but that was a different life, Kevin. I was a hoity-toity Brood War player. What can I say? My little brother loved StarCraft 2. He was the highest rank, whatever the highest rank you are.
Grandmaster?
Yeah.
He was a Grandmaster?
I think so. Don't hold me to that, but he was really high up there. What are some other ranks in StarCraft 2?
Grandmaster, Master, Diamond, Plat. It's just, the essential
The normal?
ones. Yeah.
Maybe he wasn't Grandmaster now that I'm seeing that there's only like 1,000 players for Grandmaster. He might have been Master.
They changed it at some point to where it was rotating, so you couldn't stay Grandmaster for long. You had to play like 10 games a day.
Okay.
And win like 8 of them or something.
I know when he had time to do that before caring about school and getting a PhD, he was high up in there.
Yeah, that's pretty good though.
He was legit. 9.1 for WoW drops June 29th. They sprung this out of nowhere. We were actually talking about it and thought it was going to be like way out into the future. Nope. 9.1 drops June 29th and June 30th if you're EU. So that's going to be new content. New season starts up typically a week after that, and you'd be good to go. And last but not least, Bandai Namco announced, Kevin, that they are working on a new Gundam game aimed at esports. If I had to take a wild guess, it will be a fighting game, but...
Yes. Bandai Namco, they did the Dragon Ball Fighter Z, right?
Very popular. Very popular fighting game.
I hope it's I can already tell you right now, it's going to be like a Gundam. You take the model kits, the Gunpla, whatever they're called. Gunpla? And they're just going to have like a build fighters. Yeah.
Got one right there.
I got 4 of them right up here.
We're such virgins.
Obviously. Have 2 kids, 1 kid here, and obviously virgins, right?
I love Gundam. I'm not a big anime guy, as I've said many a times. I like it. I'm not a aficionado. If it was on Adult Swim back in like 2003, 2006, that's what I like. Outside of that, I don't know much about it.
Dude, Gundam is my shit.
I love that. Gundam, on the other hand, is my jam. I will watch anything Gundam, play anything Gundam. Love it.
I gotta ask, what's your favorite? Either like the stories, like do you like the original Gundam, or do you like the Gundam Wing, or what are you a bigger fan of?
So, I like Gundam Wing. However, I have not seen it since originally watching it like the first time, and I have been told it does not hold up well if you watch it like as an adult. So I have not gone back to watch it in fear of not liking it.
It is very cringy, so I would not recommend it. Honestly, though, if you watch the original Gundam, that still holds up pretty well. Zeta Gundam, Double Zeta Gundam, and Char's Counterattack, that's like all I need. And then obviously the OVAs are pretty good too.
I liked. Did you watch on Hulu Gundam Origin?
Yeah, I wish they did more of that.
Awesome.
They only did like the first, like the very first half of the 1 year war, and I was like, I want to see all of it, man.
No, I thought that was excellent. Loved the animation style, obviously with it being updated, like it was cleaner looking, obviously. But I thought that was really great. I'm in the middle of watching Gundam Unicorn.
Unicorn's all right. It's pretty. I think it's pretty space magic-y for my liking, but I still like it.
Hate the main character.
Yes, he is a definite Camille.
He is a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
I do not like. He is honestly like it's taking me a while to watch the show because he is so annoying. He is so insufferable. I
If
just
you
want to
hate
see
that main
Char kill
character-
him.
If you hate that main character, watch Iron-Blooded Orphans. I love the main characters on that
Okay.
show, and
So
they're
I
not,
haven't watched
like,
it yet. It's
wusses.
on my to watch list.
You got to, man. If you have any other questions about Gundam, come to me and
I love Gundam.
I'll answer them for you.
Love it. Love it. It's my guilty pleasure, and my wife hates it. What's the other one? Mobile Suit Gundam. Like the more realistic one where it was like following the team in the jungle.
Oh, 9th MS team.
Yes. That's also an all-time fave.
9th MS team is pretty good. Has some pretty realistic fights.
Yeah.
War
I also
in the
didn't,
Pocket, also
honestly,
pretty good.
it's gonna take a lot for me to say Gundam's not good.
Yeah.
So even the one with like the world tournament and the different nations,
Oh, G Gundam.
G Gundam,
I
classic.
thought that was, honestly, I thought that was so stupid growing up as a kid, and then now I look back like this is the stupidest, most fun shit ever. I love it.
See, I
More
haven't
of
watched
this.
it again. A lot of this is just memories as a child because I don't
Yes.
want to watch them as an adult and being like, all this is kind of dumb. Which is why I think the original one holds up because it was much more adult themed to begin with. Like,
Very dark.
especially if you watch Gundam Origin, and we're completely off of esports right now. We got into Gundam talk unexpectedly.
Gundam podcast incoming.
We could do it. We could do
I
it.
mean, I'd be down.
Put
Just watch
together
2
some
episodes a week.
Gunpla. Talk about
recap it.
Gunpla. Let's do it. Let's do it. I
Don't tempt me with a good
I'm
time.
not against it. Let's just convince the wives to let us do like one more night of podcasting.
I will say this: Netflix does have the 3 original movies,
yes, they just
on-
added them, right? But
and then they have Char's Counterattack too. But we
Okay.
don't have Zeta Gundam or ZZ Gundam.
so
or
this
any of
is
that.
why though I will say I'm not a weeb because I don't do Japanese anime.
No, it's very hard.
I cannot get into it with the voice acting. I have to have it dubbed.
I want to watch it, man. I don't want to read it.
I know, but I have to find a dubbed version or something because I cannot. Also, the subtitles don't match up. I don't know
It
why
bothers me.
Netflix is so bad. Even if you're watching it in English and you have the subtitles on, for whatever reason on anime on Netflix, they do not match up with what they're saying. So
It's different.
me, I'm old. I can't see, so I have the subtitles on, or I can't hear, so I have to like have the subtitles on so I know what they're saying. They're not saying the same words. I'm like, what are you doing, Netflix?
It's like, hey, we have a meeting. Hey, we have a conference. What?
Right, like it's completely different. Anyways, enough Gundam talk. Even though,
sorry.
even though I love it. I love it. That's a lot. That's just me saying that I am very excited for this new Bandai Namco game. And if it is a 2D fighter in the same style that they did Dragon Ball,
I'd love it.
that might be a day one purchase for a fighting game, which is the dumbest thing you can do financially because they are so expensive and burn a hole in your pocket. But
Not to mention every character release is like $10.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's the dumbest thing to do because they go on sale almost days after release. And yes, every character, they're like, hey, guess what? We added Goku with a red shirt this time. Here's $12 extra, you sons of bitches. Have fun buying it.
One last Gundam thing. You know they are making a movie, right? And the guy who directed Kong Skull Island is directing and writing this new Gundam movie.
Is it a live action one?
I'm not sure if it's live action
So
animation.
I've tweeted many of times that the fact that we have movies like Pacific Rim but no Gundam is a crime against humanity.
That is exactly why they're making this movie.
I'm
So,
very excited, and now I need to go watch more Gundam after this.
Same here. I'm about to sleep in bed, have the phone right up to my face, watch the first 2 episodes of like.
I need to
Gundam
find
or something.
OG Mobile Suit Gundam somewhere to watch it. So, and like I said, because that I feel like relates to
Yo-ho.
adults because they have like the Earth Federation who's against the Galactic Empire, and then you have like Zeons, which and like as I'm getting older, I'm watching the show, Kevin, and maybe this is not good. Maybe I should not say this on the podcast.
Say it.
But I kind of get where the Zeons are coming from.
Dude, that's exactly what the creator wanted you to think, all right?
Like, as
Kill 'em all,
a kid,
Tomino.
you're like, oh no, I'm totally with Earth Federation. They're the good guys. Now that I'm an
growing up-
adult with like some political opinion behind me, I'm like, hold up. Like, these dudes are just trying to chill in space. Leave them alone. What are you doing? But,
I mean, define chill because they did drop a colony on Earth like several times.
well, that's different. That's, again, go watch the Origin, and then it opens up your eyes and says, "Oh, both sides are kind of assholes."
Yes, I will agree.
Both sides are more like
The original does hold up though. The original does a pretty good job of like showing you Federation is sucky, Xeon sucky, but not as sucky as you'd think.
Well, we'll discuss it on our Gundam podcast soon to be
Coming soon.
Yeah, coming soon to be decided. So, anyways, good show, good impromptu Gundam talk. Always down for Gundam talk. That will do it. That will do it for this episode of the Center Ring, aka TCR, aka your favorite esports podcast, episode 337. It's done. It's in the books. Thank you so much for listening. If you listen to the whole thing, if you made it all the way through Gundam talk, appreciate it. Love you all the same. We'll be back, like I said, on Thursday is the plan. Anuj will be back, so we're not going to do it Wednesday like normal. We'll be back Thursday night to record live, so you can follow on Twitch and all that fun stuff. YouTube,
no
if you
Gundam
want.
talk.
No, listen, there won't be any Gundam talk with Anuj. He does watch anime, but I think he's even more basic than I am. But there's that. Kevin, thank you for joining. Everyone can follow you on Twitter at
Red24 and follow me at Esports Network as well for all the updates.
Esports Networks. Follow it. He does esports talk, right?
Esports Network podcast and the Esports Daily Minute.
Daily Minute. Daily 1 minute or so, give or take, updates on what happened that you need to know.
Semantics.
Give or take. It's a name. Anyways, follow us on Twitter at the Center Ring and join our Discord. Be a part of the conversation. Anyways, Kevin, thank you so much for joining the show, talking fun, having fun with me. I'm Tim for Kevin. We'll see you later. Perfect. Boom,
All right.
We are still live.
I have got to go tackle some baby drama really quick, so I'll be logging off for now. But
all right, man.
I'll get in touch with you tomorrow about a quick like 30-minute show or something. Okay.
Yeah. Just hit me up whenever. Like I said, I'm good.
All right, sounds good.
Pretty much same time. So.
All right, so I'll see you later, my man. Take it easy.
All
Okay?
right, Godspeed. Later. All right, everyone. Well, there is the show. Hopefully everyone enjoyed it. Hopefully everyone enjoyed some Gundam talk. I'm going to kill the stream so we can get to editing this nonsense. Everyone in chat, love you. Thanks for stopping by. And we'll see you on Thursday.